What is good with you? It is your boy Travis Kinley coming back to you with another one from the house. Truck still in the shop, probably have about one more week. We'll see what happens. I hope to get it back pretty soon because honestly, I'm ready to get back to work. I miss driving my truck. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the weirdest thing. I just didn't expect to feel that way. I didn't expect to miss driving my truck. I think it is safe to say I really enjoy driving my truck. I don't know. I found myself just missing moving through the gears, just the way the truck sounds, the way it pulls. It is very different. And now, almost weird coming upon this realization right now, sitting here in my house, but now I do realize that truck does pull significantly different from the prime 579 I was in. It definitely pulls different. It's got more torque. I understand that prime, people say neuters. I understand prime like has their trucks turned down, neutered, whatever, however you want to put it. But it's definitely a difference. So I kind of miss that. I miss driving my truck. Like, I want to make money and everything as well, don't get me wrong, but in some respects, I just kind of miss the job. I miss picking loads up and dropping them off. So I'm excited to get back to work, man. I'm ready to get back to work. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. Nevertheless, I had a guy request, a good friend of mine. I wouldn't just call him a guy. I had my friend Rafe request that I do this video a little while ago. I'm late on it. I finally cut my hair, so now I'm back on YouTube. I got home. I planned to cut my hair. I did everything except cut my hair. Hung out with friends, I'm at the range, I'm doing everything except cut my hair. I finally cut my hair, so now I'm back on YouTube. Everybody, please welcome Travis Kinley back on YouTube. All right, so I had a friend of mine, Rafe. He asked me to do this video. He said, you ought to do a video about, kind of expectations or things you should know when you're thinking about hauling hazmat. You're about to approach your first hazmat load. You think about hauling hazmat? You should do a video about things you should expect. So here's that video coming straight off the dome, because to be honest with you, I remember, getting my hazmat endorsement and considering hauling hazmat. I actually thought about hauling hazmat for this really fine company out of my city. It's called Circon. I don't really see a reason to censor that or anything of that nature. But it's called Circon. I was going to haul freight for them, but I was like, nah, I really want to be an owner-operator, man. I really want to run my own business and give it a go. So that is what I chose to do, but that's originally why I got my hazmat endorsement. And then, choosing Landstar, it makes sense, right? So things you can expect or things you should know before hauling your first hazmat load. Now, by no means am I like a hazmat expert. I've hauled maybe, I don't know, between 5 to 8 or something like that. Maybe I want to say like 6 hazmat loads, 6, 7 hazmat loads, something like that. I don't remember. Excuse me. But here's what you can expect. First thing you should know, right? Expect to need to know securement. And I'm not talking about securement like, when you got a utility trailer and you're hauling a mattress across town, okay? Expect to need to know securement. Don't let this intimidate you because there's really not that many rules, right? There is a handful of rules, and if it's more than a handful, it's only like handful. If it's more than a handful, it's only more by only like 1 or 2, something like that. There's a handful of rules. We'll just call it 2 handfuls. There's 2 handfuls of rules, probably less than 2, and that's what you need to know. I mean, at worst, just write them down, right? I can't go off the dome. I know I couldn't go off the dome. I know you have to prevent from relative motion. I know sometimes you have to think creatively, whether something is against a wall or whether you're strapping over top of it, rainbow strapping. But nevertheless, my point is there are a handful of securement rules, And if you just know those rules, then you're fine, right? And again, sometimes you got to think a little bit, use some creativity and make sure your load is secure. But that's it. Once you know those rules, like I said, write them down, have a good reference. I'm pretty sure, at Landstar, actually, no. There might be a book they give you that kind of just list those rules that I'm mentioning, but that's that. Many loads aren't extremely complex. Most of them are pretty cut and dry. So that's that. Like empty totes. A lot of times those empty totes are pretty cut and dry, man. It's not a big deal. What else have I hauled? Oh man, I hauled Royal Purple one time. That was pretty cool, just because of my history. But hauling the Royal Purple, I don't remember that being very complex either. It needed a rainbow strap across the last one because there was a package. I'm not gonna say, I don't remember if it was on if it was palletized or not, but there was one in the center, so to prevent relative motion right left, and then I used two across the whole thing as far as coming toward the rear of the trailer. So I mean, I don't know. All I'm saying is no securement, and that's it. Okay. Number 2, just know your general, what's called rules and regulations, your general laws, right? Your general, I want to say SOPs and SOGs, but some of them are, federally mandated. So it's not just a standard operating procedure. It's like, it's a law. Know your general laws, right? What am I saying, right? I'm saying know the procedures you're supposed to go through. If you're exiting the truck, you're going in to take a shower, know that your ERG and bills are supposed to be either in your door or on your seat. Not on your dash, not on the floor beside your seat. Just put your stuff where it's supposed to be. That's what I'm saying. It's really, and you're going to get to the end of this video and realize it's really not that big of a deal. Okay? It's just freight. That's what I've learned. If anything, I really enjoy hauling hazmat. Okay, another kind of frequently asked question about hazmat is, do you get pulled in a lot? That has not been my experience thus far. Do I get a little bit more attention at weigh stations? Yeah, I think so. Now, it could have been total coincidence, but I think so. But it's only happened to me one time out of those, I don't know, 7 loads or something like that. One time I was in a whole line of people at the weigh station. I'm the only one that got to go to the back to get weighed. Like, you know what I mean? Seriously, like it was a whole line of people. I think I was driving into Mississippi going eastbound. If I'm correct, I think that was it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was into Mississippi going eastbound. I'm driving into Mississippi going eastbound, whole host of trucks, because it's like 7:30 in the morning. I remember I was listening to Bigger Pockets podcast. I was rolling, and everybody's lined up. I mean, we lined up all the way to the end of the ramp to the interstate, and we slowly creeping, and I'm the only one that got to go to the back to get weighed. Everybody else got a green light. Come on now, but who cares, right? You're just getting weighed, right? So do I expect to get more attention than other people? Possibly, go through a level 1, etc. But don't you want to be squared away for a level 1, whether you're hauling hazmat or not? Right? Don't you want to be squared away anyways? So, I don't know. I really don't feel like hazmat's that big of a deal. Another thing you might want to be at least a little bit familiar with are the main points of what do I need to see on my bill of lading? What do I want my bill of lading to look like, right? Hazmat items got to be listed first. They have to stand out with either the HM, the X, highlight, something of that nature. There's got to be a shipper certification. There are main things your bills need to have. You don't have to have them memorized, but at least the main points, it would be good to at least kind of know that. In the case of Landstar, we have a hazmat department where we can just take pictures of the bills, take pictures of the placards, make sure you got the right placards. And if you want to take pictures of your load, maybe they can, well, I'm fairly certain they can at least look at your load and tell you if it's secure or not. After you take the picture, you can email it to HAZMAT Compliance, and then you can give them a call in a couple minutes and just ask them, hey, does everything look squared away? And they're going to go through a list of questions with you to make sure everything's squared away. And if you're squared away, you're good to roll. And then just, check your shipment 50, 150 miles every time you stop, change duty status, HOS, change duty status if you got an ELD, and then that's it. So I found that to be very convenient. It definitely makes me feel a little safer that I have a HAZMAT compliance department that I can get in touch with just to make sure everything's squared away. But honestly, after you do that a couple times, you know what questions to ask because they're asking you those questions, and you can ask yourself those questions. Or you look at the bills and you're like, this is the same template of bills that's laid out anywhere else. And then the way that your UN number and the product name and etc. is actually listed out, you can see it in your ERG. You know what it's supposed to look like, and you feel confident to roll. So basically what I'm saying is this. I really don't think HAZMAT loads are that different from regular loads that you should be intimidated by it very much. Just pay attention to any sort of training that you receive regarding HAZMAT, whether it's computer-based training or whether it's in some sort of classroom. And then, write your hot rules down. Make sure your securement is good. Write those down, just what you're supposed to do, and you'll get used to the processes very quickly. Okay? So I am in the laboratory today. I've had a handful of people tell me that, hey, Travis, we'd love for you to have a podcast. If you had a podcast, we'd totally check you out. So I have been brainstorming about a podcast, brainstorming about podcast topics, and I think I'm going to record the first podcast. I've got people at school, at work. I've got a silent house. I think I'm going to go ahead and record my first episode, so I'm really excited about that. I've called it Kinley in the Mic, okay? Here, I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick before we sign off with my microphone. I got a microphone right here. Platow, what's up? So I used to do like rapping and recording with friends and stuff, so that's when I bought this mic. So look, I'm about to sign off. I got stuff to do. I might not be at work, but I'm still at work. So I'm going to sign off. Y'all already know what the motto is. Work hard, play hard, sleep hard, find you somebody to love. Don't forget, it is not about what you believe. It's all about why you believe it. Now live free.